Have you heard of Nebius Group? Yeah, a few months ago, most people hadn't either. But now, they're absolutely exploding across financial headlines. We're talking about a stock that seemingly came out of nowhere and is now one of the hottest names in AI. So what on earth is going on? Let's break down the story behind this explosion.
Okay, first, just take a look at this chart. In only 3 months, Nebius Group's stock, ticker NBIS, has shot up a staggering 85.74%. Now, a jump like this doesn't just happen randomly. Something massive has to trigger it. And in this case, oh yeah, it was.
The trigger was this number, $17.4 billion. That's the value of a bombshell deal they just announced with Microsoft. Nebius is going to be providing critical AI infrastructure for the tech giant from a brand new data center in the US. A deal of this size, well, it instantly put Nebius on the map for pretty much every investor on the planet.
But this just raises another question, right? Who is Nebius Group, and how in the world did they land a deal this big? Well, the answer is pretty fascinating. See, they're not your typical startup that just popped up overnight. They are, in their own words, a startup with a very deep and very dramatic history.
The founder and CEO, Arkady Volaj, really nails the company's unique position with this idea. He says they've got the speed of a startup, but with the memory and knowledge of a seasoned tech giant. And that's because, well, in a way, they are.
So here's the backstory. Nebius was basically born from the international parts of Yandex, a company often called Russia's Google. After the 2022 invasion of Ukraine, a huge chunk of the senior management and over 1,000 engineers left Russia. They sold off the Russian assets and officially spun off as Nebius Group, a totally separate global company that eventually started trading on the NASDAQ. So from day one, they had a world-class team and billions in cash. Not your typical startup garage story.
All right, so we've got a company with a really complex past and a massive new contract. But the story's bigger than just one deal. To really get why there's so much hype, we need to break it down into 3 key things that basically created a perfect storm for this stock. Reason number 1 is, of course, the most obvious one. That mega deal we just talked about. I mean, you really can't overstate how important this is. This was the spark that lit the whole fuse.
But you gotta understand, this partnership isn't just about the money. It's a huge vote of confidence from one of the biggest tech companies in the world. It basically tells everyone that Nebius technology is the real deal, and it gives them this massive, stable source of revenue as they push hard into the US market.
But here's the thing. That Microsoft deal landed on what was already incredibly fertile ground. The second reason for the surge is the company's insane financial performance. Their growth isn't some future promise. It's happening right now and at an incredible speed.
And if you want proof, look no further than this. Nebius just raised its revenue forecast. They're now projecting what they call an annualized run rate revenue, which is basically how much money they'd make in a year at their current pace of up to $1.1 billion by the end of 2025. This just shows they're scaling up fast and that the growth is coming from lots of places, not just one big customer.
And the third reason, it's all about timing. I mean, Nebius has shown up right at the absolute peak of the AI gold rush. The whole industry is on fire, which creates this massive tailwind that's lifting pretty much all the boats, especially the ones providing the critical gear.
It really comes down to that classic business model. During a gold rush, the surest way to get rich is to sell picks and shovels, while Nebius is providing the fundamental compute power, the servers, the cloud platforms that every single AI company needs. They're literally selling the essential tools for the AI revolution.
So, let's recap. We've got proven tech, explosive growth, and a booming market. It sounds like a slam dunk, right? Well, not so fast. That brings us to the crucial $22 billion question, the company's current market value. Is it actually justified? And this really is the big question you have to ask yourself. Has all of this excitement, all of this investor enthusiasm, pushed the stock's price way beyond what the company is actually worth today? In other words, has the hype gotten ahead of the reality?
A quick look at the numbers shows you just how sky-high the expectations are. Nebius is trading at a price-to-earnings ratio of over 117. Now compare that to the industry average, which is sitting around 30. That tells you that investors are willing to pay a massive premium for every single dollar of Nebius's profit. So what does a PE ratio that high really mean? It means the market is betting on perfection. It's already priced in years of massive, non-stop growth. If the company stumbles even a little bit, or if the whole AI market just cools off, A stock with a valuation this high is at a major risk of a very sharp drop.
So, where does that leave us? What's the final verdict here? Well, when you put all the pieces together, you can start to see what the future might look like, not just for Nebius, but for the entire AI-powered world we're heading into.
The story of Nebius really boils down to this. On one hand, you've got this totally unique company with an incredible engineering team and real explosive growth. But on the other hand, you've got a sky-high valuation that's packed with optimism and carries some serious risk. It's your classic bull versus bear debate. But maybe the CEO himself says it best. He predicts that in just 3 to 5 years, AI will be part of our lives in the same way the internet is today. Now, whether Nebius' stock can actually live up to all this hype is one question. But if he's right about the future, the demand for the picks and shovels of the AI age, well, that's only just beginning.